So what do I mean by the secret spells of the English language? Well, let me share with you what I call our premier life sentence. And it goes something like this. We awake each morning and go off during the weekdays to earn the living at various jobs and undertakings until we come to the weekend. And this seems perfectly acceptable to most people. However, more people die between 6 and 9 on a Monday morning than any other time of the week. So I do what I call a translation of the English language, and I spell that T-R-A-N-C-E with the idea that words cast spells. So when you translate that life sentence, you remember that awake is a funeral party for the dead. Mourning is the state you're in when you attend a wake. And you would have to be in a weekdays to earn the living, since urns are for the ashes of the dead. We call our jobs undertakings. Job itself is a Hebrew word for persecuted. And what we get at the end of this perverse bargain with life is the weak end of the deal, as we become progressively weakened ourselves. And so our most prevalent greeting to each other is hello, the reverse of which is, oh hell. And at first,
hey, what's going on, everybody? Shout out to this young brother right here. I'm not sure what his name is, but I appreciate you, brother, for sharing the knowledge to our people. Sometimes my message doesn't get across. I don't get that many views, but definitely want to say thanks to you. But I did want to go ahead and finish up on this video. It's something that I had posted on my Instagram page a couple of days ago about the English language being only about 500 years old. And I mean, you guys, it's so evident that this language is it's derived from many different tongues, many different languages. And the reason why is because the settlers who came to the Americas, they needed to speak to the natives, they needed to speak to the indigenous people, and they needed to trade through commerce. There was already paved roads, there was already Indian chiefs and whatnot who actually sold out their own people, but let's not talk about that now. But they created this language which we call English, and it's nothing but a bunch of backward ass cricket magical spells. Okay, and I'm not gonna go into what this lady is saying, but what I can tell you is I'm 46, guys. I don't look my age, of course, but I remember back in the 80s, and when I lived on Santa Margarita Street in Southeast San Diego, I can almost remember this. I'm not sure if it was one of our friends or if it was an older guy who came up the hill there, and he was talking to us. We were all young at this time, and he said that something was going around to where so-called black people or us guys, we had to be careful of the things that we read, the things that we were reading in English in books, because we didn't have cell phones and stuff like that. We didn't have the internet and nothing like that, of course. But he said that when you read English, you have to be careful and not to read certain books because they're nothing more than spells. And he was very convincing, and he kind of spooked us out to the point where it was circulating around the town, and I mean, it was good and bad because it stopped a lot of us from reading certain things. Maybe it was some things that was out around that time, but nevertheless, I mean, you always need to educate yourself and read, but it was resonating with us. So when I come to 2022 and I see all these laws and being passed in the magistracies and all this nonsense mumble jumbleness and new words that they're coming up and creating and new definitions of things, it's the same thing. It's nothing more than a bunch of spells. So be careful, guys. Be careful. And The one thing I do want to say is I always want to give a little bit of my say so or my solution to it. I mean, let's bring back our Ebonics, let's bring back our Swahili, our own languages. Let's bring back our own coded language so we can speak to each other and we won't be under these spells by these heathens. I mean, why not? They're going to take it and they're going to put it in their laws anyways, right? So let's go ahead and do it for ourselves. All right, this is CA finishing. I'm out. Wholeness.